So our kitchen connection was canceled this week due to all of the COVID-19 stuff going on. So I still wanted to share my shepherd's pot pie recipe with you. It's not mine. I adapted it. But how to make it. So we're going to go through the ingredients first. We are going to start with roughly 4 russet potatoes, teaspoon of vegetable oil or olive oil. It's for the meat, whatever your oil of choice is. 1 pound of ground beef or lamb, if you want to do that. I'm going to use onion powder. If you like real onions, you could get that and chop it up, but I don't, so I use onion powder. Salt, garlic clove, and or the minced garlic you already have in your fridge. A 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, whatever can you like. 2 cups of frozen vegetable medley. I've got about a cup left. Walmart was out of vegetable medley because everyone's stocking up on veggies, which is good, I guess. Let's see. You're going to need a cup of Guinness, or if you don't want to get Guinness, you can use a cup of beef broth. It works just fine that way. We're going to use 2 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce, 2 teaspoons of thyme, dried thyme, a half a cup of unsalted butter, a half a cup of whole milk, and lots of shredded cheese because we're making cheesy potatoes. So those are our ingredients. First things first is to get water in the pot and peel the potatoes and get them boiling. I'm going to cut them up so they boil quicker. I'll wash my hands. Make sure you wash your hands, especially if you're touching things like your phone. Wash them for 20 seconds. You can sing Happy Birthday twice. Found out today you can sing the first part of Smash Mouth's All-Star up until the hey. It's on. Don't worry. So we're going to heat the oil first and listen to the water, I guess, of the potato sizzle. When you're heating your oil, a good trick to look out for is when the oil gets kind of wavy. That means it's heated pretty good. I don't know, it's kind of weird. You just have to look at the reflection of it, and it looks like instead of smooth when you just first put it in, it's got kind of like waves in it. But if you sit for very much longer before adding your meat, then it'll start popping, and that's always fun. So, avoid that if you can. Mostly just because it hurts. Makes more of a mess. So. Okay. I do this. I'm going to not show this part because I feel like I do it weird and people might be weirded out by it. So. I like lean beef. Nope, I like it better. But use your preferred beef, whatever that is for you. I think when I season, I don't super measure. So, like, start with half a teaspoon, go from there to what you like. Or again, if you're doing an onion, I think it's like a half an onion diced up. I don't know, it's a pound of beef. However much onion you do for a pound of beef. I don't like onion. I'm not going to put it in there. So, for those of you who like onion, hopefully you know, or someone else can tell you how to do that. So, now I'm going to kind of just try to mix it up and then let this brown. I like using this particular skillet that's thick or has like more of a lip, and you'll see later, because once we add, especially all of the liquids and the sauce and everything, it fills up, and you kind of need that, whereas like a normal flatter skillet, it'll work, but I don't know, I would just be scared that it's going to start overflowing, so. Okay, so it's pretty much browned all the way through. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 half teaspoons of garlic. I think it's the half teaspoon of minced equals 1 clove, I think. But I really like garlic, so I do heaping helpings. So we're gonna add that and let it cook in there. I like garlic. Don't worry about it. So we'll let that cook for just a little bit, and then we add something. Oh, and then we need to drain all the grease. So even though it's lean beef, it still gets greasy. That happens. We'll drain that, and then we're going to add the tomato sauce and the veggies. That's what comes next. Okay, so I've drained what I can as well as I can without losing meat. So we're going to add the tomato sauce. Add all of it. And then I'm just going to add the rest of my veggies. I'm not really going to measure it. It's a cup-ish. I think it calls for like 2 cups, but that feels like too much meat to veggie ratio, personally. But again, it's a recipe, so do what you like. That's how it works. I don't pre-thaw my veggies. They thaw just fine, heated up in the mixture itself, I have found. Also because while we let this thicken up a little bit, then we're going to add more liquid and let that thicken, so by the time you're done, well, by the time we're done with this meat mixture, it's going in there with mashed potatoes on top, and it's all going in the oven. So the veggies will be fully cooked. It's going to be fine. So I'm just going to mix this in a little bit, and then I'm going to let it set for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Just so it's less watery. So I'm going to let it do that, and then we'll come back. Okay, so while this is thickening, which you can kind of see, it's thickening up a little bit, the potatoes are nice and done. So I went ahead and, what's that called? When you take the water out. Y'all, I'm pregnant. What's it called? Really though.
Is there a term for it?
It'll come to me. We did it with the grease, with the beef. What do you call that? When you get it out. There's a word. Okay, whatever.
Dump?
Anyway. Anyway, so I don't have a potato masher. I just use a big fork. I'm going to reach past you. The other side. And go ahead and add my butter. Like with all recipes, do what you like and add how much yummy / bad for you things you want to add into your meals. The heat really helps. I've just left this butter out the whole time we've been going, so it's kind of sort of softened, but in the really hot potatoes it melts, so that's good to go. You can kind of just, sometimes I like to make little holes and bury them, kind of. I don't know. We are going to add milk and cheese a little bit later, but I haven't like fully mashed everything. I'm going to let the butter melt just a little bit, and then we will come back to that in a second. So while we're letting the butter melt, this is nice and thick. You can see how it's reduced a whole lot there. So we are going to add the rest of our things, and I'm going to make sure I add the right amount, so let me check the recipe. So we're going to add a cup of the beer or beef broth, whatever your preference. It's very foamy. I'm adding just a little bit because foam, you know, whatever. So that's going to get simmering real good in there. It looks so good and yummy. And then we're going to do Good old Worcestershire. Worcestershire? How do you say it? I don't know. Go a full 2 tablespoons of this. And then, mix that. I did not just touch my face. I almost did. I didn't do it. Thyme. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I want to make sure I wasn't going to add a whole lot. I had to think about it. Okay. I think I'm done with that, and then we're going to mix this all up. Yummy. So, the recipe that I have adapted this from originally calls for the beer and the beef broth, but I feel like that's way too much liquid, personally. I've done it both ways, just with the Guinness or just with the beef broth. They're both good. The reason I've just taken it down to 1 instead of both is because now we're going to sit here and let this reduce and thicken like we did for that tomato sauce. But this is already way thinner, so this is going to take longer. So once you've got that all mixed up, I'm going to take it down to a simmer, let it do its thing, and then just come back to our potatoes real quick. See, look! The butter's all melty. Melty and yummy. And you just kind of keep mashing as you stir away. That's still hot. Oops. Big piece. Okay, so I'm going to go get the cheese because we are going to add, I get cheddar cheese is what I recommend for these. I don't do it just sprinkled on top like some recipes do. I like to just go ahead and mix it all in. Because, you know, potatoes and dairy. I'm going to go ahead and add a cup of whole milk. My cup has Guinness in it, so I should do 3 of these. Maybe we're just going to do 2, and then if I want it to be more creamy, I'll come back to that. So. Mix it all in. Yeah, that's pretty creamy. I may just stick with 2/3 cup. It's a process. Every time you're adapting and changing. Okay, now we'll go to the cheese. I think it said 2/3 cups, so times 2, because this is for more people, is 4/3 cups. I'm just gonna dump cheese till I like it. Oh, also, I prefer the finely shredded, mostly because it melts easier, but finely shredded cheese is a top commodity during the COVID-19 times. So, there's just regular shredded left. So while we're waiting for all of that to reduce, have some Thai. Okay, so you may have noticed I missed the big pinch of salt. I added it while it was boiling. It's nice and thick now. All the sauce has reduced real good. The cheese has melted more, and I mixed up the potatoes. I did add some salt to the potatoes as well, as you do. So now, oh, I did forget to mention, while this is simmering and thickening and everything, go ahead and preheat your oven to 350. And then get your Corningware or casserole dish, whatever you want to use. I pammed mine just because I feel like it makes it easier to clean later. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like it is. So, I'm going to take this meat mixture and just pour it in. Whew. Try to get all that good stuff. Okay. kind of spread it out along the bottom because you're going to top it with your cheesy mashed potatoes. I just get one of my giant serving spoons because it's bigger to scoop it on. But like, just seriously, all the potatoes I'm gonna put on top. They will sink in a little bit as you do this. So I just try to do big spoonfuls and like semi-spread it around, and then I can kind of fill in the gaps as I go. Another reason you'll find whenever we take this out of the oven that I like to do less moisture is because like it continues to cook and bubble and boil, and I do almost always get sauce on top of the potatoes whenever I take it out because it's boiled up and over, which is fine. It still tastes all good. But like the first time I did this, it was like so much extra liquid, I thought. I didn't really want it to be soupy. So I'm just going to fill in a few little areas here, and it pretty much fills up the entire thing. We're going to have a little bit of extra mashed potatoes, but that never hurt anybody ever. Unless you've got like a potato allergy, then you shouldn't eat this. So, okay, good enough. Oven's ready. You're going to bake 30 to 45 minutes. My oven runs hot, so I just do the 30. Then we'll pull it out, and it's good. Well, you know, like let it rest, don't burn your mouth. But then it's good to go. Okay, you see what I mean? All the liquid. That's what it does. So, now you let it sit till it's no longer boiling, so you don't hurt yourself, but then you can enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. If you try it, let me know. Let me know if you have any helpful tips or hints, I guess, to do things better. But that's it. You just, you know, make sure it's not scalding and then enjoy. Thanks for watching.